I think we're sorted. Let me check. Yo! Yes.
I'm super sorry. I never used Instagram before, and I'm lost.
No worries, man. It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Dude, if you have a
pair of headphones,
we'll
stop the
little thing,
the delay.
Yeah. Okay. Shit. So give me like 2 minutes.
No worries.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm so not professional.
At least we
started the first part.
Cool. Now we're waiting for headphones, and then we're gonna be good. All right. It's also cool
they
can
wait for some people to join in.
Okay, here I am.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Cool. We're ready now.
Super sorry, everybody.
Man, you're all good, Thib. First of all, how you been, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm super sweaty, but I'm good.
How's everything in France, man? It's hot now. It's hot the weather because like in the UK today is like really hot.
Yeah, it's hot too. It's been cold, then hot, then cold, and now it's like super hot. But it changes like every 2-3 days. So it's a weird weather, but it's cool.
Nice, man. Dude, first of all, I usually start like with a little introduction and bio. Can you tell, like, for people who might not know you, tell like who you are, what you do, like talk a little bit about the pressure to services and who you work with, and yeah, just like a little intro.
So my name is Thib. I'm French, as you can tell by my super awesome accent. I've been working in the music business for like, I would say 10 years now. I'm currently playing in 2 bands. Like we started 2 bands during confinement, so it's like super new. I manage a touring company. We can do booking, we can do touring, which is driving a van. We own some vans too. We get some backlines. I'm like, that's our shop.
Oh,
right
nice.
Here. And we basically can do anything on tour for bands. Like I'm not a sound guy or light guy, but some friends of mine that I'm working with are. So we can offer like a typical touring package for like US bands or.
Oh, cool, man.
We do now guitar
Which kind of bands do you usually work with? I mean, I know, but like it's for people.
Yeah. Usually we work with punk bands. But like bands like in booking in France, I'm working with bands like Clowns, like the Hardens. On a European level, I'm doing Copyrights, KP Goody, Direct Hit.
Cool, man.
I'm sorry, I'm super sweaty. I just got a big run to go my earphone. So, yeah. And my partner Simon is into oil music, so he's working with either TM for a band called Lion's Law, which is becoming a pretty strong name in the oil scene, and band like that. My brain is fucked up. Sorry.
Dude, there's no worries. Like we're totally chill because first of all, this is like a really like informal conversation. We don't like it's all chill, man. So like another thing, dude. Thank you for joining in and doing this with me, because
this is my first interview I ever done by myself. So thank you for having some interest in me.
Oh no, man. It's like, the thing is, man, like we've toured together, and and like I remember, like you were one of the guys that I really like enjoyed tour with. You know, we didn't knew each other, like, and we just met on that tour, and it was really cool. You know, and
it was fun.
It's nice to like see you again and have like the opportunity to speak like face to face again. You know.
Yeah.
And for me, like what you do like in the scene is inspiring.
Cool,
like
thanks.
regarding like if you're playing or if you're not, or if you're booking or if you're organizing tours and stuff. Like I think your work is relevant, you know, and it should be like, you should have like people wanting to know more about it, you know.
Cool,
so that's
thanks.
like the reason I called you, and I'm really like happy to have you here, man. It's really
cool
good to see your face, dude.
Thanks for having me. When I saw you at Frank Turner last night, I was like, fuck yeah. I'm the next guy, so cool. And tomorrow I think you have Pete.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah.
Gonna talk with Thib. It's nice, man. It's a way as well for me to like keep in communication with people, you know, and it's just like a little thing that can have some positive outcomes for us, for everybody that is watching, you know. So it's like a totally chill environment, and I just want to be yourself, because that's what like made me like you, you know. Like you're like a unique being, and it's fucking cool to put that thing like in perspective, you know.
Thank you.
First of all, man, like how did you start it, like playing in bands? And like your musical journey, learning, and like having interest for the scene.
Okay, so might be a bit long, because in 10 years, like, you pick up some stuff. But I discovered punk rock when I was like 15, so it's pretty late. My family is not really a musical family. Like, my parents just listen to the radio, or they don't even care about music, really. So I had nobody to push me in the right direction. So I discovered this, and then I started, you know, like you go through high school, and then you need to find some studies to do, because you don't want to end up with a high school diploma only. So I tried I studied the business, like it was a 2 years diploma, and for business, but I pretty quickly I knew that this wasn't for me. So I had to find like interest. So I discovered that a lot of bands I liked had the same logo on the back of the CDs, and I discovered what was a label then.
All right.
And then I bought a bunch of records from them, and I had to do like a training program for my studies, and I didn't want to go in some bullshit company, so I just asked the label if they would take me in as an intern.
Oh, nice.
And I wrote like this super long email, like, that's what I want to do with my life, I love music, blah, blah, blah. And they just answered me like, okay, you can start on Monday. So, yeah, that was fun. And I discovered that it's not because you have like a logo on the back of the CD from a band you love that the label has to be a big operation. The label was actually only one man managing everything, and he was doing this on top of his day job.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind. I was like, okay, so awesome music doesn't come from big companies most of the time. So that opened my mind to, okay, then I discovered everything, like how to manage a label, band goes on tour. So I worked for the passion of it.
Yeah.
You know, for like a couple of years through my studies, and I went through the commercial bullshit I was studying. And then when it was time to get a job, I just did my first tours with bands, like a couple months before I got my diploma. I graduated. So I just decided I had to get a van and go on tour. That's all I wanted to do. Then I started doing it, like, driving local bands. Then you meet somebody and you do like bigger jobs. And the turning point of this was, there was a French band called Uncommon Men from Mars.
All right.
They were pretty big in France. And I was working at the Warm Audio, which is a venue in Lyon, which I'm into right now.
Lyon?
Yeah.
All right.
Our repair, the guitar shop and the backline is in Warm Audio, so we're pretty tight with the venue now. But at the beginning, it was just me, like, helping out at shows and stuff. And I met the manager of Uncommon from Mars, and he told me, like, yeah, we need a TM. So do you know somebody that could help us with that? And I was like, of course, me, I can do that. But I never did it. I don't know if I told them already, but I've never, before that, I never drove a Sprinter. I never TM'd. So yeah, that was total bullshit. But they hired me for like on a trial weekend, and I guess I did good enough, so they hired me for the rest of the band's existence. Yeah, I toured with them for 2 years, and then I took on the booking of the band too. So I was like the TM / booking agent / merch guy / drivers. Basically, it was the 4 guys of the band plus me on tour.
Yeah.
And we did like maybe 120 shows together. Then the band stopped playing, and 2 of the band members were Ed and Jim. So you know Ed because he
not scientist.
Yeah, and Jim wasn't on that tour we did together. But then they started Not Scientists right away, and they asked me to play bass with them because they knew I was already like tour broken, and learning bass to play in a punk band isn't that difficult. So I learned to play bass to play Not Scientist.
Wait. You learned like how to play bass in Not Scientist?
Yeah.
Dude.
I knew how to play guitar, but I haven't played for like 10 years or something.
What?
Yeah, and then boom.
Man, it's incredible, dude. This story is like has like some unbelievable parts, like.
Yeah, like Uncommon from Mars was the band I was looking up to when I was like 15. I heard the record and I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. I don't know if I want to play or be on tour but that's my goal. That's what I want.
You want
and
to
then
be involved, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to be involved.
And then I meet the manager and he's like, yo, we need a TM. I'm like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Of course I'm going to do it. And then he was like, yeah, we need a bass player in the band. You want to play with us? Like, fuck yeah. I knew I wasn't the first choice. But then when I tried, I was like, so good. And then we did 500 shows in 5 years with Not Scientist. And I quit the band in...
A couple of shows we shared together. Some of those shows we played together, man.
We did 3-week tours in Europe. That was really fun. And then in December, I quit the band because like many reasons, I need to go away from it a bit because, as you know, touring in a punk band, like for like 100 shows a year, that was a way of making money, but your whole life is like evolving around it, and sometimes it's just too much. Like you need to have a break.
Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. It's like I think it's completely acceptable for an artist or a creator, like, because at some point we're just people, and like I think it's completely like understandable that sometimes it's not that we're having a breakdown. It's not that we just need to chill a little bit, like sometimes that's like the reason, like we just need like to chill a little.
Yeah, like being in a touring band is like having a second wife.
Oh yeah.
Except your wife is divided in 4 people.
The band.
And yeah, so it's it's always really complicated to maintain a balance between what you want to do, what everybody wants to do, what your personal life requires you to do. If you want to do the right thing.
And it's good to have this perspective from you, man. Especially because you spend like 5 years touring like 100 shows like a year. You know, you can have a say on this. You know, because you had the experience. And another thing, like we have to bear in mind that like most of these shows were DIY, so it's 100 shows, but not like with the best fucking conditions in the world.
Oh yeah. Most of the time, it was the 4 of us on the road, so we have to do all the work. And I'm booking the tours as well, because besides being a touring member of Not Scientist, I was still managing Pressure and booking tours for the other bands. And I was, when in between our tours, if I could fit some like TM jobs or backliner jobs or merch guy jobs on other tours, I would do it because, you know, you need to work and get the money. to get that dough. So, yeah, it was exhausting. And then, I decided it was better for me to leave. So now, then I created COVID-19 just to have a break, you know? Because I was like, okay, I'm quitting, but I need to break, so COVID. No, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry, everybody. That's a bad joke.
This is breaking news. Now I'm kidding.
Yeah. But,
oh, man.
Yeah, so, that was pretty weird for me because I quit the band and then I had some touring jobs for other bands lined up. And then I think I did I was supposed to tour with Mikey Erg on his full band tour in May. I was playing bass for him. I booked that tour. Like a tour I booked for Directed got canceled and moved to summer of 2021. And, you know, that was confinement was a big hit for me. Like, okay, cool. So now, you know, like time like this, you question yourself, you question the way you've done things. Is it still is it still okay to work on tours for the fall, even if you know that maybe nobody will be able to set up shows and stuff?
That's a question that I wanted to ask you, and then further down the conversation, because it's really it's really even if artists and the industry wants to go back, who is gonna come to the shows? You know, that's also another thing, because even with the world coming back to, I don't know what is normality, because for me normality is fucking weird, but whatever. I don't know how people are going to change the psyche of basically having this subconscious fear. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a weird one. It's a weird.
It is weird because I know it's a bad thing, but I'm keeping away from all the news and stuff because it's so depressing to me.
Same, brother, because it just drains me instead of, making me hope. It drains me,
I'm the same. So my wife is a doctor, and that's the only one I trust. If she tells me do this, I do it. If she tells me don't do it, I don't do it. That's the way I'm working. And
fair enough, bro.
But yeah, as far as touring starting again and booking shows and stuff, I kept trying to book shows for the fall, even if you don't know what's going to happen, because it was a way of, I think I was afraid of not losing the business, but I hate that word business, but my English is limited, so I'm trying to.
No worries, man.
But booking shows is kind of a when you get out of it for too long, you kind of lose touch with what's happening. So it's kind of a way to trying to make it happen, but you might work for nothing.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find a balance between I need to work because that's what I've been programmed to do for the last 10 years, and everything is fucked now. So it's a tough. Like I tried to book. I was supposed to book tours for KP Goli, Electric, Dave Smalley, and Bandaleros, a Spanish band, and everything fell apart. So I think at some point I was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
you know what?
I understand, man, because like with me it was the same thing. I was like booking like European tour like for the new release and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like I wouldn't say it was a waste of time, you know, because it's always a learning experience.
And I was at home doing nothing, so you know.
Yeah, that's it, man. At least we're trying and we're not giving up. You know, that's important. Like especially like in times like this, because sometimes giving up might seem the option, but if you really think and go to the core, and it's like, why do I do this? You know, this is my passion. This is like my that's how I get this drive from life. Is like from doing this and like all this. So I don't know, but at some point, this situation might kind of looks for me like a way to show us what we really love to do, and we're not gonna give up on it, like so easily. You know?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like when everything is fucked, like you just realize that some things you're doing are just a pain in the ass to do, even if you do it every day and you have to do it. But I see your point.
Yeah.
Like, and in France we got confined into our homes from March 16th to May 11th.
All right.
So that was almost 2 months. That was a really long time. And when we got out, Simon, which was my partner in Pressure, we just started writing music.
Oh, cool.
Because it was like we have. The venue we work at sometimes was like closed, and we had the keys. All the gear in there, so it was like, okay, cool, let's make some music.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, we wrote something that I hope you won't get bad at me, but I would say it's kind of oi and like oi and hardcore, like kind of.
Yeah.
So it's super fun to play, and we got a friend. A touring friend. He's a sound guy and he can't tour anymore, but he hasn't played drums for like 17 years, and now he's coming like since May 11th, almost every day to relearn drums and play with us. So we're gonna record the songs in like August. We have 6 songs and super fun to do.
Oh, cool, man, cool. I see. Forest Book is here, man.
Oh.
And you say so you have the keys.
Yeah. Sorry, oops. I might get in trouble.
Oh man. So another thing, brother, like one thing, like when I toured with you, one of the things I like saw instantly is how passionate you are playing. You know, the actual performance, like how you like put like all your like energy out and like play, you know, that's like something that I don't know, man. It really doesn't matter, like this kind of stuff. It really doesn't matter, like the dimension of the band, if it's big, small, successful or not. But when I see someone, you know, like playing with their heart, it's a total different experience, you know. Like
cool.
The show becomes like alive, you know, and you can feel it. You can actually feel it, you know. So basically, dude, I want to just ask you, like, what sensation does the stage make you feel, bro? Like in your words, like in your experience.
It's I never put it into words, so it might sound weird, but when I was on stage, it's like, you know, there's always some bullshit going on, like with the band members, and we always like kind of mad at each other a bit, and you drove the whole day, and you're tired, and you meet your wife, and you're hungry, you want to, you know, like, and being on stage was like, I just felt that the band. I don't want to toot my own horn, but like playing in Not Scientist was one of the best experience I had because the band members, everybody was playing super well. Like Basil is an awesome drummer.
For sure.
Ed sings and plays guitar perfectly. Jim is the same. So I felt like it was just fun, and I never wrote music before the band we're doing now. So Ed and Jim wrote the songs, and I was just a fan of the music. So it's just like instead of just banging in front of a stereo, you were just enjoying it, playing it on stage. And I was just feeling like, dude, that's my job. Fuck yeah. It's like, yeah, you know, like, okay. I'm like, even if there's like 5 people on a Monday night in the middle of Czech Republic or somewhere, it's still better than going to a factory.
Exactly, bro. Man, that's a really good point, man. That's a really good point.
At least for me. I understand somebody who wants to go home every night and sleep in his own bed, but my level of comfort is close to 0. So and playing Not Scientist was one of the most enjoyable experience I had in my life because I started as a non-musician, and now I can say that I'm a bass player.
Bro, dude, you are like and a good one, man. Like it's so cool because I think like because you're so like connected to the show and the experience because you can feel it, you know?
Yeah.
Like it makes you like I don't know, it makes you automatically play like with the flow, you know? Like I've seen bands like play and you can see that they're playing okay and everything is like tight and stuff. Yeah. But it's like kind of mechanical, you know? Like when I saw you guys play and I think you were doing like 3-piece shows when I saw you guys play.
Yeah, Jim couldn't make it on that tour, so he was 3-piece instead of 4.
So basically I think also because of that it gave like another dimension like of the band and like it was so cool to watch like all of you guys like smashing, but especially you like always like breaking like almost like breaking stages and stuff.
I think on that tour I broke 2 stages.
Yes.
Yeah. And on the last show you guys didn't play, I twisted my ankle pretty bad.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember, man. And I did that tour like with a broken toe, so.
Yeah, that was a warrior tour.
Warrior tour. Oh man, no, but that's the thing. Like, I think because you were saying like you consider yourself a bass player, and I think you should, man, because you have the sensibility, you know, to play it. The different like the different. Man, the word just like disappeared from my head now.
It's okay. It's chill, man. It's okay.
No, it's cool. It's chill.
It's cool.
And, dynamics. Yes, that's the word. I was like, man, in Portuguese I know, but it's the same in English. So, like, it's cool to see like how like you guys like also like create like different dynamics or used to, but like that tour was actually really nice and man, that's why I'm like I keep telling this experience, and again, I wanted you to come to this show, you know, and talk a little bit about this. Another thing, brother, like I heard before from like you and another like French friends that like before a pandemic or anything, like there's like kind of like a government support from the French government that like covers some money like monthly fee or whatever it is. So basically what makes me think that the government kind of supports a little bit culture and art, I don't know. I don't want
they do
statement, but like
they do
okay, like and how's the situation now with this like weird circumstances?
So it might get tricky a bit. I'll try to explain how the government helped us before and now what they do. So in France, when you are a musician or a technician, like a sound guy, even a roadies can get that, stagehands and stuff. You get paid when you get. Shit, that's complicated. They have a special status of welfare for cultural jobs. So if you justify of 507 hours of cultural paid work in a year, then they open a special status for you, which is called intermittence, which means that for a year you get some welfare money every month. Like, let's say you did your 507 hours, you put the file in, and they say, okay, you got the status. It means that when you do, like, let's say 3 shows, you get paid like 450 euros. Then the government will say, okay, when you gave us your file, you get the right, you have the right to get like 1,000 euros a month. So what you do is at the end of the month, you declare that you get paid for like 450 euros. And then the government will deduct that from the 1,000. So they will give you like 550.
And that's a pretty like progressive.
It is fucking awesome because the month you don't work, you still get 1,000 euros. So the aim, so you get that for a year.
Oh,
so the aim, now the tricky part is to get another 507 hours done during that time to get another year coming.
All right. Now I see
yeah.
where the problem is.
So it's a cycle thing, but I've been able to do that for like 8 years now. So like when we're not touring, I'm just staying home and I'm getting paid by the government.
Yeah, so, because like you justified like the amount of hours like last year, but you
yes.
keep doing and keep doing. So basically, what you're saying to me is like there will be a lot of artists that like for the next year, it's gonna be a little bit fucked up, right?
Yeah. So that's the point. So now the government just froze the thing. So for now, confinement started on March 16th. So there's no show. There have been no shows since March 16th. So for now, they just froze everybody's rights. So I was supposed to do to give them my file again in May, so I could get another year going. But I was missing like 40 hours or something. So yeah, I was supposed to get like 120 more, but I got 40 less now because of the thing. So what they did was like they told us, okay, you're not gonna get your rights won't get cancelled until the end of the pandemic, until you can go back to work.
All right.
So, but then we don't know when they're gonna stop freezing the rights. It might be in August, might be next year, it might be. We don't know yet. The government didn't really give a status on that.
All right.
Like the president said, of course, guys, you're gonna be taken care of, and then, okay, we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that to happen. So,
so
yeah,
cultural part,
yeah. We know we're super lucky as French to have this program because I think nobody in the world got that except us. So
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
I think we're pretty lucky, and I'm super lucky, man.
Yeah.
I got this for like 8 years. I was playing in an awesome band, and now I'm just playing music with my friends and we're playing guitars.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude. That's really nice. That's why, like, again, dude, like, I think it's inspiring to bring like people like you to this program, man, because it's to actually show like the people that are watching now or the people that might watch later, like on YouTube or IGTV, like it's just to show like how simple is to follow like something you love by doing it, by being practical and actually doing it. Like your 10 years of like career in this, it shows, like, it's an example. And it's not only you, like there's a lot of different people that keep telling me the same thing, you know. How can you achieve certain thing or certain goal, or go for it, you know.
I think you don't have to be like, it's kind of being dumb to do things like that, because you just do what you want to do, and sometimes it works, and sometimes you fell right on your face, and that's it, you know. It's a
But like, how important is the process of accepting failures and evolving, right?
It is. It's difficult at the beginning, the first time it happens, because you want this to happen so bad that sometimes you overlook details, or you don't hear the universe telling you, you know what, maybe that's not a good idea. Think about it, and you go straight in the wall. But then,
No, so sometimes it happens, man. But like, I see like these sort of things like as a part of the path, you know. And what is really important, it's try to put like this good or bad or failure success terminologies apart, and keep like focusing on the stuff you want and with the intention you want to bring, you know. Because it's incredible, man. Like, you started because of a logo behind like a CD, you know, like that's incredible. And like from that, you know, like everything happened, and because you want it to happen, you know. That's fucking incredible, man. It's so cool to bring on like different people, and everybody's like just telling me, I basically just did what I wanted to.
And I was thinking about how you when you talked about failures and kind of winning situations. For me, it's more like growing up is learning what's good and what's bad for you. Then the bad stuff you learn how to push them away, and then you do only the good stuff. So I think a failure for me is just something I know I try to avoid next time. And then I just I don't call them failure. I don't see them as a bad thing. If like, after a while, if like something is like bothering me, and when I have to do it, like my belly hurts, or, you know, I procrastinate, and I'm just like, oh shit, I should stop doing it. And then it's a, so I don't see, like, I don't have this like black and gray stuff. But I mean, it's more like black and white. Sorry, I mean, it's more gray to me always. So, like, because something that could be fun could turn into like something painful in a few years. So just, it depends on how you, like. I don't have kids, but if one day I have some, I think my priorities will change a bit. And like, playing in a band might be the thing I want to do now, but maybe at that time it would be like, okay, so I should focus on maybe booking tours and raise my family.
So basically, it's okay to reinvent yourself. You can be whatever you want.
You have to, if you want to keep like, if you want to keep things interesting, you have to do that. Because if not, it will get boring as fuck. You know, like doing the same shit for 30 years. Nobody wants to do that.
Oh man, yeah, exactly, dude. Like, I think especially like people in our sector, we come from like a generation of like everything's possible and you can do everything you want, and like you have like this presented to you like at an early age, you know. It's like so many like, I wouldn't call them distractions, because at some point these distractions became my hobbies and the stuff I like to do, you know. But like, I think in this century it's kind of like impossible to just do one thing, you know. Like because you're like you absorb so many things in so different fields that I think it's kind of like natural that a human being shouldn't be a label. It's a transforming being. We can be a musician one day and a booking or all in one. We can reinvent ourselves every day, and it shouldn't be a problem. It should be like a virtue to do that.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to, because you're just playing in a band and you do like 100 shows a year, but at the end of the year you're missing like $3,000 to make it on your bills. So you say, okay, so I have to do something else.
Yeah.
And because the sad reality is now that the thing you love to do don't always pay the bills.
Yeah.
So so you need to find a way to make it work so you're happy on both sides. And that's what I did. Like Pressure, most of the time, booking tours is fun, but I don't pay my bills with it.
All right.
I pay my bills with touring with a band or driving a bigger band or selling merch for somebody. But I still manage to spend most of my time working on Pressure.
But because you want to, and it probably, that's the thing. It probably won't give you like the amount of money like to cover rent and stuff now, but because of the amount of hours and energy and time you put like in your project, it might like in 5 or 10 years, 20 years, you never know like how that energy and that commitment like will make your little project or medium or like grow.
Yeah.
So I think it's super important like that people, regardless if they're doing stuff to pay rent and doing another thing, it's really important to keep like our heads sharp on the stuff we want to like do. You know, like I think probably I can relate that maybe like with tattoos. I really love doing tattoos and creating art, and like I love it. But I think like that's like the work that usually like helps me like a lot, like pay my bills and stuff, and fund sometimes music, and I'm able to probably like do like a little investment and stuff on my band. So I'm always like trying to, I have like tattoos as like not now because the shops are still closed in the UK. But like usually I have this kind of sort of like this symbiosis. Like I do some like a little bit more in tattoos. I put it into music because it's my passion. I want to create like a foundation, like something like solid, So even though it's not paying my rent right now, I know like for sure, and that's not like the concern I have like right now with the band. My concern is, am I doing something that has like my heart in it, and my values, my core? Like, am I doing something that I'm proud of and I'm happy and I'm like really like looking forward like to invest my energy? Yes, so I'll do it. It's
you know what's funny too? It's like, even though it's a personal process, just what you explained, like trying to make it happen, there's so much luck involved, because it's like, okay, so you put yourself in a position where you want to do stuff and you're super eager to do it, and you put everything you have into it. But if the universe doesn't line up in front of you, then it's like, okay, so I can make it. So that's why I'm always super surprised how kind of easy that was for me to make this.
Man, probably because of your attitude, man. Probably because of like the way you are. You never know. I don't know, man. Like you seem like the thing is, like being with you and experience like a tour with you, like it's fun, and it's like pleasant to be around you. You're like a guy with a positive vibe, with like a chill attitude. It's
Thank
cool,
you. Yeah.
So basically, I think that is also like a factor, you know, because like you're just want to do something you love, and it happens that you're a person like with integrity, you know. So those two things kind of work hand to hand, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. So probably that, man. Dude.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to like ask you. Imagine.
That's my wife just said because of me, and she's right. It's because of her.
Boom! Amazing, man. Dude, like one final question, brother, because I think we're ending the time. I think we have more like 6 minutes or something.
Okay.
So if you had like a 16-year-old kid asking you like, oh, I want to start a band and I want to start booking show. What like are the inspiring words you have to tell him?
For shit. I got 6 minutes. Like you mean a kid who would like to do like be involved in the scene or just play music?
Involved in the scene and play music.
Okay.
Like especially like people like us, you know, that do like a lot of shit. And...
Okay. I would say watch how the other people do, copy it, and try to do better. I would be like, I hate that part where sometimes in a business you take somebody's job. You know, like you're like somebody's doing shows or booking bands, and you just arrive and you do a better job maybe because you do your job, and some people judge that you do a better job than the other guy, and you end up like kind of stealing his job, but not on purpose.
Because you offer a good service. That's how marketing.
Yeah, I hate that part because I'm not here to kill anybody's business. But if somebody's better at something that you are, I think it's fair that they should get the job. That's my way. If somebody comes up and is better than me on my job, fuck it, you earned it. So I would say to that kid, don't give up, stay in the back, watch how they do it, and when you do things, think about it before doing it. A bit.
Fuck yeah.
And then and then just fucking do it.
Yeah.
and see if the universe is allowing you to do it.
Fuck yeah. That's
important,
man. It's important to respect the cycles, dude, and see
it
when
is.
you need to chill, when you need to go, respect the and feel life. Life is always telling you what to do, man. Like
and what not to do. Most of the time, it's telling you what not to do.
Oh man, dude, it was such a pleasure having you here. I hope you had a good time, and man.
I'm sorry I look like shit. Like my hair is like dirty. I'm sweating as fuck. It's super hot in here, and I was late. I'm sorry again. With the Instagram, but this is the first time I'm doing something on Instagram, so it took me a while. Thank you,
man.
Mathilde.
It's all good, man. Like, as I said, this is like an informal conversation. I just want as well to see how are you as well, you know, because we haven't talked in a long time, and it's actually really good to get in touch and go through your story, you know, and it's super cool, man.
That was really fun. Thank you. I hope I was not boring. And my French accent is awesome.
Oh yeah, yes it is.
So
man.
yeah, it is.
I would be proud of your your French accent.
And so let me know what's happening with Bless This Mess next time. If we can do some stuff together.
Brother. Man, thank you so much once again. And dude, I hope to see you soon, man. Like when this gets a little bit better, and I can give you a hug, and if we can,
you can give me one of your Reiki massage.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Oh man, I remembered that. That was cool, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude. Thank you so much. I think we have 1 minute and 40 seconds. So
okay.
it's reminding me now.
Okay.
It's like there's like it's like a ticking time bomb. Like tick, tick. I just see like the time like goes down.
Okay.
So brother, once again, Thibaut, was fucking nice to have you here, and man, what a pleasure, man, having you and having like this conversation, knowing a little bit more about you. It's super
Cool.
fun, man. It was really
Thank
nice.
you for having me again.
Nah, dude. And yeah, thank you everyone that was watching. I didn't pay a lot of attention to the comments, but like
I did not pay attention at all. Sorry, guys. Except for my wife.
Obviously, right? Take care, boys. Nice seeing you. For Spooky, much love for you all. Thank you as well for watching this. And yeah, we have 45 seconds, bro. Should we do the full hour? And
oh yeah. I was late, so I guess I'm entitled to get the rest of the hour. So
no, for sure,
what?
Man.
I don't know what to do now.
Oh, you can sing some Edith Piaf, man, if you want, dude.
Oh, I'm playing bass. I'm not singing.
All right.
I'm not a singer, and I'm not really good at it.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Man, bro, we have 10 seconds left.
Okay.
Thank you so much, man. And
peace out.
See you soon, brother.
Yeah. Have fun.
Bye-bye, man.
Bye-bye.